So I got to hang out with these really awesome people that I just met, Chris and Christy. And yeah, it was very refreshing in more ways than one. So we talked about, woo-woo stuff, and went down to the river and saw the horse sanctuary and compared notes on stuff. And then this morning, for some reason, when I was hanging out with them at their house, I could hear fine. And then when I went back into the truck at night to go to sleep, my ear clogged back up. So it only seems to be clogging when I'm in my house alone. And now I'm fairly convinced that has something to do with me being more allowing of letting other people into my life and not being so isolating, because I self-isolate an awful lot. Because the other day when I was kind of freaking out and all aggro and weirded and out and confused and all that shit, I, for some reason, opened my door, which I usually don't do when I'm in a random parking lot in the morning, but I just opened it up. And I was laying there kind of freaking out. And then Chris just happened to work right there where I was parked and was like, "Hey, I know you." And that's when I saw her, and she's like, "Come over for dinner later." And yeah, so I was really uplifted by the invite and the dinner and the company and the conversation. And then this morning, I was hearing the same sentences that someone else was hearing at the same time in another house. It was kind of cool. And then and then she said, Christy said, while you and Chris were down in the river talking about Massacre Flats kind of stuff that happened, because she said when she goes hiking there, she often feels like someone's watching her too, and that was kind of what tripped me off to the dread when it first started. Was I kept feeling like somebody was just right there watching me, and no one had showed up all day, which was super weird to have that feeling when no one's around, in a public place. So yeah, that's kind of where it all started. Right before the rain even came, that's where another little inkling of weirdness started happening. And she's like, "Oh, that's funny, because I've always felt watched up there too." So while we're down in the river having this conversation, Christy was up in the house in a shower, and she said all of a sudden she felt like the presence of a woman around her, which she often feels in that house. And she just whispered "death" in her ear. She was like, "What? Death?" That's weird. And so then this morning when I was up there, Chris is at work right now, so I was up there talking to Christy at their house, and while she was telling me that, I saw a woman's face in the window. Just come. There's no way to stand next to that window if you're in the house, because there's a big bookcase there. So I just saw this face in the window. I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's funny, because when you just said that, I saw a woman's face in the window." So then we were sitting down, and I was like, I was telling her about the body pendulum thing that you can do to get yeses and nos from your body when you're trying to heal any kind of stored trauma that's emotionally stored in your body. You can ask your body yes or no. Is this pain ready to go? Is it ready? Is it time for me to heal it? Is it an emotionally stored event here and there? Did it happen 10 years ago, 20 years ago, et cetera, et cetera? Yes, and you just yes and no your way all the way down into the actual event. And then when you acknowledge it, it releases it. So I was telling her about that, and as I was telling her that, I was like, she was saying that anyway, we were talking about body pendulum, storing pain, storing trauma. Then all of a sudden I was like, oh, it was like, it's like you can also do the same for when, there's someone around you. Your body will know who it is, So I stood up and I started doing the body pendulum thing. I was like, oh yeah, that woman that you saw in the shower, or that whispered in your ear yesterday, that I saw in the window just now, she's here now. And I was like, is it okay for us to talk? And my body said yes, so I told her yes. And then and I was like, and I just got out of the way, and just information started coming through. Yes and no, and then whenever I get stuck in just yes or no, my way back into, oh, her name starts with L. It's like, Oh, Elle is the name of, and it just went on like that. It's to do with your son. She's worried you watch out for her. Yeah, all this information just started coming out. It was so cool. And we're both sitting there with like chills. We're like, it's just like super cool. It was really cool. It was really good to feel validated for me, and validating for her, and validating for the woman in the corner, and validating for, everything and all things. Yes, it was really cool. And so now and thank you, Bill, for sending me a donation. Thank you so much, because that gives us, like, I just filled up the tank with the last of the money. That just, like, gives us, just enough to get back to the city where my next job will hopefully be. We'll see. Fingers crossed. So I had $4 left over, so I got a cone, a jelly cone over there. Caramel jelly cone, because it's like 90, it's almost 90 degrees now. It sometimes gets up to like 115 or something here. And I kept, I asked my body again before I left Christy and Chris's house, do I need to keep going north? And said, nope, you're okay now, you can go wherever. So I think we'll just inch our way back towards the Bay Area, stopping a lot to take breaks because it's hot. Nobody wants to be out in the sun when it's hot. So we're like hiding in the shade and going near rivers where we can swim and stuff because it's hot. Moseying at our moseying pace. I feel so validated. This is really good feeling of feeling validated. Like I have a purpose in life, Like there is another purpose that I can fulfill in life. And that is to be a woo-woo, witchy, wash. So yeah, if you ever need a woo-woo, witchy, wash in your life, just look me up. Bye-bye. Click.